Hi everybody, welcome to this month's Live with Layla. And this month we've got the lovely Helena from Scratch Now magazine. This topic is definitely going to be for you. If you've often wondered, you probably get Scratch magazine because who bloody doesn't? And you probably picked it up, seen a local salon or another nail tech that you know, and you're like, how did she get in there? And it'd be really nice to get your name in there. And so this is the sort of thing that Helena is going to kind of unpack for us now. How you doing, Helena?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
We were literally, guys, before we move into talking business, we were just talking about how we wear pajamas, and I'm going to keep it real and show you. I'm having a pajama day at home. I don't think you are though today, are you, Helena?
I'm not. I'm actually in the office today. So yeah, but usually it would be stretchy leggings, elasticated waistbands, and my best friend working from home. So, but you can boss it in whatever you wear, really. I think that's the main takeaway, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. We should do that, everyone who does these things is reveal themselves. And then that's what you should have a feature. Everyone who does these things, all the mentors, all the creators, all the educators, reveal yourself. And everyone should just send in all their photos of them in their PJs.
Absolutely, because nail and beauty pros don't have this privilege. They can't do it in their pajamas. And I'm sorry about that. But
I know, I feel bad. Right, let's talk about business, because this is what this group is all about. Really helping creative, passionate nail techs, waxing experts, beauty bosses, beauty therapists, just boss up a little bit in the business department. And we all know that to really push sales, whether it's services or products, marketing is life. Yeah,
it's such a huge thing. And what I have noticed, I've been in the industry a while now, I think it's 14, 15 years. And what I've noticed is that hair professionals, hairstylists are really good at promoting themselves. The beauty side, the nail tech side, they're not. Just as an overall, I think it's maybe a confidence thing, or it's something that people don't shout enough about their success, about what they're doing, about their offerings, about their skill sets. And it's something that really needs to change. And there are so many benefits that come from marketing yourself and your business, and it's a lot easier than people would think. I just think you can. People underestimate the power of printed media, and I think they overestimate the power of social media sometimes. And I do think it's about hitting so many different channels to not only excite your existing clientele, because there's a lot of competition out there and there's more to come, but it's to entice new clients as well, and to keep your name there. You can't just do one bit of marketing and be like, I've done this, I've done some social posts, I've paid for this, or I paid for an advert in the local paper, and that's going to be it for the year. You've got to keep your name out there. You've got to keep your presence known, because people will go to a slightly cheaper place, or someone that's offering something shiny and new, or they've got the Hailey Bieber chrome that they're offering. You have to keep yourself at the forefront of everyone's mind, and there are so many different ways to do that.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, when we talk about marketing, and you just said it before, there's so many ways, and some areas are over focused and are too distracting.
Yeah.
And then there's others that really just kind of go over our heads, but that is probably where the growth is.
Yeah.
And I always like to bring it back to money, because that's really what it's all about. And creating content, if you're not converting, if you're not monetizing, then you have to look at your strategy and what's quite not connecting with your audience, blah, blah, blah. I'm so over accounts of all the big numbers. I just don't think the big numbers mean jack shit, really. I don't think it means the world. It means something, obviously, but it doesn't mean everything. You just need to have that clear message land in front of one person, the right person, and they're converted and they'll buy into your services, etc., etc. So coming back to the magazine, openly discussed now, where do you see printed material in this online space? Because I know obviously we've got Scratch Online, because I write every month on there. But yeah, talk to me about the verses, like the old versus the new. It's not so new, but you know what I mean.
Of course. So I'll be completely honest. About 5 years ago, I thought our print magazine would no longer be a thing, and we'd be solely online. We'd have website content, and we'd focus on social media. That hasn't been the case. I think that's due to the nature of our industry and the habits. You know, all the celebrity magazines have closed because celebrity information you can get from various news sources very, very quickly, and you don't need to wait for a month or a week. It's out of date by then. Our magazine is obviously, we're a B2B magazine, that's business to business. So we are publishing business related content. Our goals are to inspire, to educate and inform. Yes, it's a monthly magazine. However, there are articles in there that will stand the test of time. There is one in there this month called How to Raise Your Profile. You know, there's Valentine's designs that you can look back on. There's core marketing and business advice in there that people are not going to lose via an algorithm. And I think with social media now in particular, I mean, Instagram has become a little bit of a nightmare, because you go onto your feed, you're never going to see that post again that has come up that someone else has posted, you know, simply by scrolling. Then it's refreshed itself, and you've lost what you were looking at, unless it's a sponsored post and you've got targeted advertising on there from a company. You're probably not going to see the same post twice. You're just not. It's instantaneous, and there's too much on there.
Volume is crazy. Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse when you're juggling Instagram with TikTok, with Facebook, with, you know, Twitter, you know, Pinterest. You've got all of these social media apps, and Be Real is a new one that I found out about the other day from the younger members of the team. It's just, there are so many things for you as a business person and your clients to be keeping up with. It's important that you don't just stick with one, because it could get lost. B, it's important that you're putting the right messages across via the right platforms. And print media is still, in our industry, I think, a very valuable platform because of the type of content that's on there. Web stuff serves a purpose. It's instant news, snappy, quick updates about what's going on in the industry. Magazine is more like it's more like a business journal. You're referring to it, and you're looking at in-depth articles from people that have experienced what you are experiencing. They're writing their advice, or we're looking at a situation in the industry and we've gone into depth about it. We've done our research. We've found out what's going on. So there are very different purposes for different platforms, and that's print media included.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll be just going back to our behaviors, and I think because it's more of a, well, it is, I think it's more of a pleasure thing. It's definitely educational and entertaining and all of that, but it's not really entertaining, the magazine. It's more advice, like you said, more advice. For me, when I lived in Spain for 3 years, and I was flying over once, twice a month, sometimes more, depending what I had on the schedule. But when the Scratch magazine would come in, the girls would put it on my office desk, because I would always save that magazine time, that reading time with your mag when I was on the plane. So it was like my little thing. Like, I wouldn't open it, even if I knew I was in it, even if I knew our brand was in it or someone else was in it, I still wouldn't open it. I would say, like, in my little brain, my little pea brain, I'd have like a little area, and it'd be like, no, my time with Scratch is on the plane. Or, and since then, because I've moved back now, it's bath time. So it belongs in the bathroom. It doesn't go anywhere. Straight in the bathroom, ready to be opened when I have a nice hot bubbly bath, because I can then dedicate it and read the whole, you know, article. And that is why I agree with you and think that there is still a place for reading, you know, printable products.
People are still reading books, and I think we're so saturated by screen time. I hate it, and I'm a very bad culprit, because I'll say that, you know, I'll be strict with myself and I won't sit on my phone while I'm, you know, in front of Netflix, but we all kind of do. And we did see in COVID, actually, during the lockdowns, we saw quite a big jump in our subscriptions for the magazine. And I do think that's because people were just fed up of looking at screens all day, and it's something different to do. And, you know, for obviously we target professionals with our magazine. The website and social media is slightly different, because it has to be, because you can't sort of control who is reading that information. But we target the professional, and so, you know, the magazine is often shared around a beauty salon, and people can keep coming back to that article, whereas, you know, they can't sit there, you know, constantly going through social. They're going to lose it because they've got so many apps open on their phone. It's something that can keep being referred to, and it doesn't date. The majority of the content doesn't date. So it's very kind of useful, and it's nice to have something tangible and not have a screen. People still read books before bed, and it's the same kind of thing, isn't it? It's just printed matter, has a different purpose.
Definitely. I want to move on to how salon owners, that, like I said at the beginning of this call, are getting the magazine. They're reading other people's success stories, and they're thinking, oh, I've got a story to share. We've all got a story to share. It doesn't matter how big or small we are as a business, how new or seasoned we are, we all start at the same place. We've all got a story. But some of us in our industry are more open to putting ourselves out there than others. So let's say we have people listening right now, or on the replay later, or on the YouTube, because this gets uploaded later onto our YouTube channel, our new YouTube channel, going back to all them bloody platforms. I was like, do we know? Okay, let's go YouTube. You know, when does it end? So let me share this with you actually, and then you can dish out all the advice. So you all know, and I know everyone in this group certainly knows, I have a membership called the BBA, Beauty Business Academy. And as some of the perks of being a member, as well as all the business course you get every month, and the social media vault prompts and all the other things you do, the mentoring call, they have access to the Scratch and another industry publication schedule for the year. You know, like when you say in January we're going to talk about this in editorial, in April we're covering this, in December it's this, we're covering trends, blah blah blah. They have access to that, and we actively encourage them to send to us. We don't get them to send it to you, because we kind of do like a filtration thing, a pre-qualifying thing, if you like, in the office. And honestly, the mindset for most of the members have been, oh, why would they put me in the magazine? Or I'm just a nail tech. I'm just at my little salon at home. Anyway, there is one lady called Danny, and I know that you know Danny. She was one of those ladies, and we sent to you guys from our office something she had submitted to us. And what had blossomed from that decision of hers, because it was totally her decision, is you printed her in the magazine. You then, as in, like, I think it might have been Chloe in your office, or Rebecca, somebody in the office, reached out to Danny, offered her an Instagram live, which was between her and you. And all it done for her was, of course, build her confidence, raise her profile, pop that magazine on her coffee table. I'm sure it would have given her ammunition or momentum or confidence, whatever the word is, to raise her prices. And that almost like qualifies the price, because her customers, her clients see her position. You know,
and I see that she's got value because she's so recognized. And it's not saying that anyone else has got value, but she's put herself out there, and she's been recognized by, you know, a leading now magazine. She's been put on these platforms, and because Scratch magazine is an impartial publication, we have to be, that's how we maintain integrity. We are a publication. So anyone that comes into the magazine, or anyone that we feature, has that purpose, or has that I don't want to say vetting, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like, you know, that's we've put you in there because we're interested in you, or we're inspired by you, or you're informing us about something, and we kind of love what you do. And it's nice to see that, and then you can share that with your clients. And you know, I see so many people, when the magazine lands at the beginning of the month, taking pictures of, you know, quotes that they've contributed to it, and nail art that's been featured by them, or their feature, you know, or if they've done the front cover, then they've taken photos of that, and they've posted that on their feeds. And the love and the engagement that gets is amazing. And for your clients to see that you've been featured in a global magazine, or on their platform, they just think, oh, they're pretty good. It's fantastic. Oh, I deserve to keep going someday,
doesn't it?
Exactly. It's like, you know, if you were ever featured in the paper when you were younger or something at a school fete, as I had my mug in there a couple of times holding balloons at school fetes and stuff, your mum's cut it out and kept it, right? And it's just like, it just shows that I was featured in the paper, and I've been on TV, and I've done this and I've done that. It's something to be like, oh, well, did you know they were in that magazine that time? And it's something that kind of gives a little bit of confidence to your clients. It's nice for them to see, put it in a frame and put it on the wall, and just be like, I've been featured in X amount of publications, because people think I'm great, and shout about it.
I mean, for me, it brings two feels. Obviously, the confidence and the, oh my God, they've chosen me feeling, the emotional connection with the magazine, with the industry, with the other people we meet along the journey. But also the business side now comes in, the leveraging it, raising your profile, raising your authority, raising your prices, and being like, look, they credit me. Yeah. And I think that is the part that sometimes as a nail professional, and I have to be honest here, so don't shoot me, people, but out of all the different corners we have in our industry, the nail corner, if we call it that, I think they're so passionate, which is amazing. I'm an ex-nail salon owner, tech. Now I'm a nail distributor. I have been for a million years, 17 years. I think we're sometimes just a little bit too passionate and not, I don't know what the word is.
And not ploughing it into
focused enough,
And it's so pleasing to see that so many nail courses now are integrating some business advice, and so many people have come out like yourself with, workshops and tutorials to support the business advice, because it's all very well doing a nail course and being amazing at nails, which so many are. And, I speak in broader terms about, the beauty industry as well, being amazing at what you do and doing that level 3, doing that MVQ and, ticking that box. But you might be, the best beauty therapist in your area, but if you're not shouting about it, then no one's going to know about it. Yeah. So it's really, the two really do go hand in hand. You have to market yourself appropriately, and there's so many different ways to do it, but there are also so many basics that we've kind of noticed that have gone amiss. And we've got an article coming up in the March issue on what to put on your Instagram page, because every time we'll go to we'll get something submitted from us, or we'll see something will catch our eye on Instagram. We'll go on the Instagram page, the nail tech wouldn't have put what location they're based in, how to book, nothing. It just relies on the message button, and it's like, but I don't even know if this nail tech is where they are. So if I was a client, I'd be like, but I don't know if they're anywhere near me, so I'm just going to go and type in someone else. And it's in that couple of seconds where you think, if I can't see where you're located, it's too much effort. I'm just going to go find someone else, and I'm going to Google nail tech near me. Yeah. And it's the basics are really missed on a lot of people's Instagram profiles, and that was quite surprising to us, which is why we've done sort of a, just be aware that we just want to see where you're located and a link to how we book, or some information about how we book, and we just kind of want to see your price list as well. So if I'm a client, I want to see those 3 bits of information. Just make it easy for people. So if it's even drumming down to those basics, have a look at your social media platforms and do it from the customer journey. If I'm a client, do I know exactly what you're offering, but also B, do I know that they're right for me? Is there a description of the treatment and the products used, so that I kind of know what to expect? What are the prices involved, and how do I book? Now I've found you, I know where you're located. Easy, job done. I want those easy, make it easy. Do those step by step, do the client journey, and just check your social media platforms and your website if you have one, and just check that you've got those basics, because that is part of marketing. It's stepping back and having a little bit of a look and be like, have I made this customer journey or customer experience easy enough for them to book with me, because competition is rife.
It's surprising that the absolute basics in 2023 are still being overlooked or misunderstood. Again, it comes to a lack of education. We didn't come into the industry of nails knowing, or beauty, knowing that we were going to have to become marketers, that we were going to have to put our face in front of the camera, that we're going to have to produce videos like reels and TikToks and stuff.
Yeah. So
a lot of us, I think, as a sector, coming back to the way we're wired, and like what you said before, we've got our habits. We like to sit behind our desk. We like to it's our comfort zone. But unfortunately, the way the business has evolved, regardless of our sector or any other sectors, to survive and to grow and to monetize, we've got to move that way. In fact, I did a whole program on it. I think I might have told you. So it's called The Beauty of Instagram.
Yeah.
And I've got a whole trademarked framework, which is the virtual salon window method. I think I might have briefly told you back in 2020 when we launched it. And the virtual salon window method or framework is exactly what you just explained. When the customer is on the outside, think of them like a little virtual person, and they're looking into your salon, your real salon window. There's been many a time at night when the salon's been shut that I've jumped out the car and I've had a little goosey gander, and I'm like, oh, what have they got in there? What brands have they got in there then? Oh, I like that sofa. You know, we do it. Yeah. When I moved to Spain, oh my God, I was awful at it. I was like, oh, I would have done that different. Oh, I would have done that. And I would have, you know, as you do, we're all guilty of it. So the virtual salon window method, and this can also go for TikTok, is exactly that. When they're virtually walking past your salon, you need that virtual salon sign, that shop sign, your name, your contact number, your town. The highlights on Instagram for us in my course are your highlights, you know, are your what do you want people to, what do you want to put in the window, like pretend blue tack, that's your highlights, you know. So sometimes we have to connect the dots that way to see that we have to fill in all the blanks for people, because like you said, they'll just scroll on by.
Exactly. And you've just got to think about we being immersed in this industry know what the acronyms stand for, you know, like BIAB or whatever, we CND or, you know, all of these different acronyms. We know that that's a brand and that's a product and that's this. And a lot of your clients won't. So don't overestimate what they know. And if you've got, say, for example, I'm not trying to stereotype, but say there was a guy looking to buy a Valentine's treat for his girlfriend and thought, oh, she might like a massage or something like that, or a pedicure or something, I don't know. And he's approached with all of these different acronyms. There's no description about what the treatment involves, so he doesn't know what it is. He's just seeing these weird letters on a treatment menu, or walks past a salon, be like, that salon looks really nice. There's no treatment menu in the window, or no QR code to scan for one, or no website or something like that. And there's no description about what the treatment offers, how long it takes, what's involved, the price. That's going to scare that person off and just be like, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know what I'm looking for, I'm not going to book anything, job done.
And they'll go to the garage and they'll buy a bunch of manky flowers.
Exactly.
Get the old flowers.
And it's just, that's exactly it. And it's just, a lot of people think, like, we do see that, you know, people neglect to think of the client journey, and that is I know we've gone a little bit off piste in terms of marketing, but it's all about showing yourself, and it's about showing what you do and what you offer. And that comes down right from, take a few steps back, have a little look at your business and what you're putting out there, and whether it's clear and concise, and whether you're not just talking to other beauty pros with your acronyms and, you know, your different kind of wordage. Just keep it simple, stupid. I live by KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And you just have to sort of go back to that. And then it's like, that makes it easier for people to book with you, easier for them to understand. They'll appreciate that it was clear, and that will keep them coming back.
I love that. I do love that. And that's another thing we're guilty of, being in each other's pockets. And it's lovely. We're very tribal. I think as an industry, we're very tribal. You know, we've got besties that we've never met and all of that that goes on, which is lovely, you know. But when you're following each other, and I think this is where we weren't doing the follow train. Do you remember when that happened and everyone was following each other? And then obviously it gets to a point, I mean, that's long gone now, because at some point the pennies dropped for people and they've gone, well, I'm not, other than a follow, they're never going to buy off me. So I'm not going to monetize through that follow or through that little spike of algorithm. It's basically short term strategy, not long term. There was no long game with that. So yeah, that's something that I think we've learned as well on the job because it's not our thing.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, in terms of kind of the marketing and putting yourself out there, people buy into people in our industry. You were saying about, you know, there's people are friends with each other. You have these industry friends, some that you've never met. Look at how you form those relationships, and look at your clients. If you were all sort of no face and just you know, boring pictures on your Instagram, or you didn't have any sort of personality, or people didn't know who they were going to, then that is a detriment to itself. You know, if you've given from your shop window, first and foremost, if you've given a great impression, or if there's a video of you on your Instagram or TikTok going, hi, I'm Sally, come and step inside my salon with me. Over here we've got the nail desk, and here's my treatment room. Having that walk through, that people know who you are, they're introduced to you, they instantly feel comfortable coming to you. And because you've given yourself a virtual shop window, and you've put your personality out there, and that's comforting. You know, my mum, she's in her mid-70s, and she hasn't had many beauty treatments because she's quite terrified. She doesn't know what to expect, what to do. But my mum uses Instagram and Facebook, and if she got to see, if I'd be like, Mum, I've booked you in for a massage, but oh God, she'd be terrified. She wouldn't know what to expect, what to do, when she takes her clothes off, when she does this, when she does that. If someone had sort of explained that, hi, I'm blah blah, I'm responsible for the massages in this salon, and this is what we do. You'll come into this room, have a little talk through. That will take 5 minutes in between your appointments. If you've got a spare bit of time, do something like that. A nice walkthrough, show yourself, show your personality, show your team members, like you were saying, how you were going to get everyone on your team who's going to be working from home to put their pajamas on and just be like, we're here, this is who we are. People by people.
Yeah, definitely. The person behind the page.
Yes.
That is a course that I did 3 times in this group during the lockdown. And I kind of said in a roundabout way, it gets boring. No matter how good of a nail tech you are, how good of a fluffy fan of lashes you can do, to the only other person that's really getting off on those photos, if you don't mind me saying, is another nail tech or another lash tech that you're following. To the consumer, they just want to come in and go, oh, I like that red. Yeah, I just want that, and they're busy doing that with their own life, and they're just consuming, and so the person behind the page is a course I delivered 3 times for free in this group, and it was about showing up and letting them buy from you as a person, because they are 7 times more likely to buy products and services if they know who is of course they're going to love your work if it's good. But they want to know who's driving that business forward, who is painting those amazing nails. Will I like her? Maybe I can't stand. Somebody could be totally put off by your voice. They might be like, oh yeah, she sounds like, don't know, high energy, low energy, monotone. There's so many things that we attract people and we repel people. And that is how we find our perfect customers. We want our perfect clients because they're the ones that are going to stay the longest and spend the most money and refer our business.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we do in Scratch Magazine is that whenever there's a brand that's new to the magazine or new to the UK market, we always do a piece on who is behind that brand. We have the headshots of the people that created that brand, because exactly for that purpose, it instills trust. Would you buy a load of products from someone and invest, several £100s, maybe even thousands, in something where you don't know where it started from? You don't know where it came from. There's no research been done. Like you wouldn't. I wouldn't go and invest, a couple of grand on, a new sofa without looking at some reviews, looking at the fabric, looking, having that kind of inside knowledge. And it's so important that is present, and that people know who is behind a brand before spending their money. But your brand is your salon and is your business.
I've just thought, actually, and more so for your magazine. So we were just speaking then, like from a consumer journey perspective, like from a client perspective, looking in at your nail business or beauty business. But actually, when it comes to your magazine and you're revealing the person behind the brand, oh, wow, that would inspire so many nail techs.
Yeah.
And beauty, because I know you have beauty people on there now, but predominantly nail techs, that again would look at that magazine and be like, oh, she started her own brand. Where back in the day, you had to have millions behind you. You had to have investors, a list of investors as long as your arm. Now we're seeing massive success brands and successful people right from our little UK island that are smashing it in our market. And that alone, sharing their story and the person behind, certain brands who started as a nail tech, started in a garage, all the stories you've heard over the years, that really inspires your readers to think, oh, well, if she can do it, maybe I can do it one day.
Exactly. I mean, look at the likes of Tammy from NAF Salon and NAF Stuff. I mean, she put herself out there. Her social media platforms won awards with us at the Scratch Stars because they were so creative. Her and her team put themselves out there. They had their own hashtags per team member. She created that brand. She created that we want to know what each member is up to. They've been created by NAF Emily, or they've been created by NAF Tammy, and she would put herself out there. They'd sponsor events, they'd host pop-ups, they'd invite people and influencers into their salon, and they'd be constantly on their social media showcasing what they're doing. And you know, she's done absolute wonders, and you know, her salon's multi-award winning. I think she's appeared everywhere. She's been an entrepreneur of the year and she's so young still, and you know, and she's got her own brand of products now. And it's like, I think that's all because part of the reason, I think, you know, you put yourself out there, you showcase who you are, people have bought into your journey, your story, your image, and that's really important. And you know, image, I'm not talking in terms of aesthetics, I'm talking in terms of aesthetics of your brand, you know, what your Instagram looks like, how you're taking your photos, you know, whether your logo is consistent across your platforms, whether you're easy to find and recognize. People will see that keep coming up on Instagram and be like, if you've got the same pose, for example, for all of your nail pictures, fantastic. That's almost a way of marketing, in that, you know, you've got your hand pose, people instantly start to remember that's you, that's your brand, that's your color, that's your, you know, that's how you present yourself to your audience. And there are so many different factors that are important.
I love it. And actually, I was there on the last Scratch awards night when they went up and won, and very well deserved. Yeah, because they're doing it right. It's like a game. You've got to play the game. You just got to and go all in, you know, and leverage. You know,
find your niche is so important. And that doesn't have to be, you know, a big standout thing. It can just be like, you are absolutely brilliant at gel polish application, or you have created your own facial, your signature facial for your salon, and you know, you've had reviews that people love it. That's what you pick up, find the golden nugget, I always say, in your business, and really capitalize on that, and you know, use that in your taglines, you know, the ultimate I don't know, best facial in the area or something like that, and just, you know, find that nugget that is going to work for you and that makes you stand out from your competition, because there is going to be so much more competition coming out. Like, the amount of people working in home salons has just absolutely catapulted since COVID, and you know, how do you, when you're working from home in a room in your house, or in a you know, in a shed that's been transformed, you're in your own garden. People wouldn't know about you unless you went and shouted about yourself. So that's why it's so important. No one's going to find you in your garden shed. So you have to put yourself out there, and that's why marketing is so important. Have a website, even if it's just a holding page with some contact details and some booking details. Make sure your Instagram and your Facebook, which are probably the most widely used by our audience, you know, your logos are the same, your brand, everything's clear, you've got that information on there, you've got those core points that I talked about earlier, and put yourself out there with the local press. And this is one that's really important, that a lot of people don't sort of realize that they can do, is reach out to your local paper, invite one of the journalists there to be like, look, I'd love for you to come and experience my signature treatment, and take some photos of my salon, and I'll tell you my story. The worst they can say is no, thank you, not at the moment. But you've reached out and you're on their radar. And I'll be honest, working in print, and I've worked for newspapers and, you know, radio sessions, you can never have too much content. And just to have some, it might not be instantaneous, it might not be in the next couple of weeks, but if they're looking for, if they come to you, they write a nice review for their online piece, or even in the paper, if you've got a cool twist to your story, I don't know, your nail salon is a gypsy caravan in your back garden, that's quite a cool thing for them to write about. You know, your local paper, like, you know, I started my I do nails from a gypsy, from a caravan or something like because there's a lady next door to my parents that has converted this like really cool caravan into it's a psychic reading place and massage holistic treatments. It's so cool. And you know, people will come and see that because it's a point of difference and it's really exciting. And reach out to your local press or reach out to influencers. But I do want to talk a little bit about influencers and how to be careful with them. So yeah, I mean, just to finish that, wrapping that up, it's local press is really, really valuable. They will always be looking for content and filler stories, and it's a nice experience for them. And then if something comes out, you know, like God forbid, something to do with allergies or lamps in the industry, or they need someone to, you know, have a quote about a massage or something, and you offer massage, you're on their radar. Then they can come to you and be like, oh, this story's come out in the national press, we want to cover it, but can we have a quote from you as a beauty therapist or an expert in this area? And you're on their radar then. So every couple of months, invite them down for the cost of, you know, a treatment. If it's, you know, if it's in a dead time for you or something like that, where you know, appointments are a bit few and far between, the value of that article and putting your name out there in the press goes back to what we, you know, said earlier. You can start framing it, and you can really capitalize on the fact that you've been published.
And probably, I assume, very much the way that you guys do it at Scratch is that not everything, I imagine you can't get everything like repurposed, but I'm sure there's a crossover between the printed version and the online version. So again, if you reach out to your local newspaper and they put you in the print, they'll probably share that online.
Yeah, that's
and
exactly
you can take that into your stories. You can tag them, they'll retag. There's the collaboration features now. I mean, it's very powerful. Yeah.
It's so powerful. And it's just we do that. Whatever we feature in the magazine, we also try to feature online as well, for the most part, or we kind of, you know, not reuse that content, but it's of interest across all platforms. So the advice is, that's why it's important to be on so many platforms, because your information is viewed by different people with different habits. So press do put that out there on multiple platforms so that the same information is seen by a variety of audiences, and that's so important. But I just want to quickly offer your viewers a bit of advice on influencers. Now, everyone's an influencer these days, whatever social media platform they're on, and you will probably get a lot of people that come to you or message you in your local area. Oh, I'm an influencer, I'm a blogger, I'd like a free treatment. And I've seen a few people get burned by this before. An influencer is someone who, if they're putting content out, you're going to see a return from it. Whether that is in more followers on social media, where more bookings, or just something to raise your profile. So you want to make sure that that influencer can do that for you. Otherwise, there's no point in you giving up that free treatment. And, you know, money is few and far between. It's, you know, if it's a 40, 50 quid treatment for an hour, that's a lot of money to give up to the wrong person. So, and there are a lot of cheeky people out there who always want something for nothing. So you will get, you know, a lot of people emailing wanting, oh, I'm free treatment and I'll do a post on my social media. You might then go on their social media and they've got 74 followers.
Yeah.
That's not an influencer. They're not influencing anybody. So there's a few things to look for in terms of influencer marketing, which is very popular and can be amazing if it's done right. So have a look in your local area. You know, it's people that you might have seen in the paper, or you might have met at a local event, or you know, someone that owns an amazing hair salon in the area, but they struggle to get their nails done because they're working with color and their hands are in all day. Invite them to the salon and be like, I've got this treatment that will be perfect for you, I'd love you to talk about it. Their salon might have 8,000-10,000 followers from your area because they're the best salon in the area. Invite them in, they'll probably do, you know what, look at my nails, do some cross promotion. But when it comes to your influencers, look at their following and look at their engagement. There's so many handy tools online for free that you can see how engaging people's Instagram accounts are. Sorry, I'm just talking about Instagram here, but this does apply across the board. Look at how many people are following them. Look at how many likes and comments their posts are getting. If it's next to nothing, they're not an influencer and they're not going to benefit you at all. They're just going to benefit themselves from a free treatment. But look at people who can complement your business, and ensure that you're aligning yourselves with the right people, and people that aren't too controversial on social media, or people from complementary businesses that can support what you need, or just a local celebrity in the area. Find out who they are. You can message them via social media platforms, or do a bit of digging, and just send a lovely invite and just say, we'd love to treat you to a signature treatment. It would be great if you can post about it. And unless there's a contract, it's very hard to kind of force people to do stuff. However, make it clear in your initial communications. Just be like, hi there, I'd really love to treat you to this amazing signature facial that I offer, and nail service, in return for a possible post on your feed. Would this be possible? I'd love to get you booked in, and make the experience wonderful for them. So yeah, just a few little hints. Influencers can be amazing, but choose the right ones.
Yeah, no, I love that you've taken the conversation there, because again, it comes back to that leverage. If there's someone who's doing well in the influencer space and they live in your town or city, I mean, chances are they're going to love to get their nails done. They probably already get their nails done. Yep. So it's kind of a no-brainer. And it's just working out like the T's and C's without using those words to them at the beginning anyway. And then having some kind of contract. I mean, we're just about to publish it actually, a whole new section, which is called Lawless to Flawless. Mm-hmm. And the Lawless to Flawless is basically a suite of contracts and downloadables and applications and forms and, agreements that will help across the hair and beauty sector for various situations, renting out spaces, photo permission forms, all of that kind of stuff. And we do have one in there for the influencer, because again, it's about really having it on paper what you want, so that you can manage your expectations, they know your expectations, they can meet your expectations, and vice versa. Then there's no fallout, there's no miscommunication. And just taking it now into our industry. So we started last month. We were looking for educators for Entity Beauty, because again, and I had to do a whole piece on it, and I even went live on it, and to explain that the landscape of educators pre-COVID probably is very different to what brands are looking for now as educators. We're kind of looking for a hybrid of educators and influencers, but we want them to educate with our brands, with our products, to our students, to their students, and have a wonderful partnership. But now it's a lot more than just delivering the skills at the nail desk in a classroom. Now it's about that whole online experience with the reels and the lives and the live demos, and now the online workshops. And we do need a little bit of that influencer vibe with our educators now. So we call them educators. Yeah. Because we're looking for creators as well as educators. It's a whole thing, because we're trying to rewire. Again, it's back to what our model has always been for so long. Yeah. And yeah, we've had people apply and they've been amazing. And then we've had people apply and we're like, yeah, you're not quite there yet. We don't even know what you look like. It's that kind of brick wall that we'd hit with a few of the applicants. They're not quite there yet. Yeah. So the landscape's changed a lot. And you're right, there's people out there that will just take the mick. And there's people out there that have it nailed, excuse the pun. And they're the ones that you want to lean into to grow your business and raise your profile that way.
Yeah, definitely. I think influencers are kind of the modern version of word of mouth. They just heighten it. Everyone can kind of talk to each other, or you can recommend to a friend, but influencers can recommend it to a lot of friends. And we all know how valuable word of mouth is in our sort of close-knit beauty community, because, like I sort of said earlier, it's got a big deal going for a beauty treatment. It's a very personal thing. And so you want to ensure that you're comfortable with someone, and that you don't feel alienated in a beauty environment, or nervous or anything like that. So if you've heard from your best friend, I had this most amazing treatment, it was absolutely lovely, they were so nice, they gave me a glass of shampoos and they did this, they did that, I'm like, I'm there. And influencers, if they're saying that if people are trusting their platform, and following them, and because they follow their opinions and they have that level of respect for them, you know, and they say that they had a really nice treatment at yours, they are talking to a lot of people, and that's really, really valuable. But just another little handy hint is if you are looking for influencers, obviously a lot of nail pros in particular, obviously I'm coming with a nail hat, but this is probably also relevant to the hair and beauty sectors. You're following all these nail pros on Instagram, fellow professionals, and oh god, I'll never be as good as them, or you know, they're so good at this, they're so good at that. They're probably not in your area, so they're no threat to you. And just because you haven't got 20,000 followers like they have doesn't mean you're not a successful business. Your core clientele is your local clientele, it's your local community. Focus on them. Do not focus at the vast social media out there and trying to get X amount of 1,000 followers, because that's not going to turn into cash. You know, you want to source your local community, and you want to stand out in your local community. So I was thinking that it's like someone who's got quite a hands-on job, you know, maybe a landlady or landlord in a pub. They're pulling pints, people watching while they're pulling pints. If you've done their nails and you've treated them, and you treat them sort of once a month, and just say, look, if I give you a free nail treatment once a month, would you put some cards for my business on your bar, for example? They're pulling pints. Oh my God, I love your nails. They're amazing. Where did you get those done? Oh, here's their card. Here's their business card. How many pints are they pulling in that week or in that month until their next appointment? Just having a little thinking outside of the box with things like that. It's always to market yourself. And yes, you've given up a free treatment, but how many could you get? You know, if you've got, you know, a bloke in the pub that's like, oh, I think my wife would like those nails. What do I do? What do I book? Oh, here you go. I go to Sally. She's here, she's really lovely, give her a call if you want, and she'll talk you through what there is. Job done. Or he can go on the website and he'll see your nice clear treatment list and know exactly what to book.
I love it. It's funny, isn't it, because we say in our industry that we have nail eyes in our, like, as a nail tech, or in the industry, we look at everyone's nails for their faces. And I think brow people do the same. I think they have this, I think they call it bow to the brow, where they like they're looking at people's brows before they're even listening to what they're saying. And going back to our nail eyes, but with consumers, two people, I'd always be looking at their nails, particularly the lady on like the supermarket, you know, putting the food through, always look at their hands. It's a weird thing. It's always them. And always, and I'm not doing it so much these days because there's not that much cash flying around. It's a lot more online payments now. But when I used to go to the bank and bank cash every week, and I would watch her sitting there counting the money, and I was looking at her nails the whole time, thinking how many people are walking into that bank or walking into Tesco's or Waitrose, whatever, and just looking at their hands. Because so you're right. If you got them in, they are influencers. Mum's down to school, they're an influencer.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. So there's so many different ways to kind of target your marketing, support your marketing, and it's just sometimes just taking that step back a bit. It doesn't have to be that complicated. It can be as simple as offer your local landlady one free treatment per month in return for putting the cards on the bar. That's something.
Everyone's an influencer out there, basically. But I love how you had a little bit of a pep talk about influencers that approach you and how, you know, what are the red flags kind of thing. I like that.
Do research, don't get stung.
So we've covered a lot, which is amazing. We've got to talk about this new competition with Scrap.
Sorry, there's a huge glare that's coming. Let me just hang on. Let me just see if I can. Sorry about the office. No, that hasn't helped at all. Here we go. Sorry about that. I'm taking you all on a journey with me. Yes, so we've got two very, very exciting competitions for the nail professional market. But if there are beauty therapists that are listening to this, there is a salon award that I will be talking about, which may be of benefit to you. And also you can refer your nail tech friends and colleagues to enter as well. So ways to raise your profile, ways to market yourself also involve awards and competitions. So I'll go back a little bit. This light's driving me mad. Sorry, bear with me.
I've done this before in a live. It's like, really now?
I mean, I'm back to where I started, but here we are. Sorry, it's just one window in this office. So awards and competitions are amazing ways to raise your profile if you are entering the right ones. Now, there are a lot out there in our industry to enter, and the application forms do take a little bit of time. They are so worth it though, if you're choosing the right ones. But how do you know which one's a good one and which one's not? Have a look and see if it's come from a reputable source, first and foremost, is my advice. Have a look at the way it's judged, the transparency of the competition, and don't be afraid to ask questions to the organisers if you can't find the information available. I have heard of, in this industry, people that can basically pay to win. And there are a lot out there, and it's frightening. Yeah. What's the point? Yeah. Because you might as well buy yourself and get yourself a trophy engraved and then say to your clients, oh, I did this. If it's not come from a reputable source, it doesn't mean anything. And if you haven't earned it, it doesn't mean anything. It's
many of those companies creeping in, by the way. I'm seeing everyone win everything, and I'm like, who are that? So where they come from? And it's like any Tom, Dick and Harry can win an award now. It's like, what? Where's the...
That's why you need to look at the reputation of the organizer and the competition. So in our industry, and I'm talking the nail industry, you've got trade show contests and competitions. Look at how they're administered and how they're judged. They're generally really good. So you've got ones coming up that are organised by the FNP, which is a team of staunch competition pros, basically, that have been doing it for years. You've got Nail Olympia competitions, which is actually run by our company, and they're global now, and Nail Olympia competitions have been going for about 16 years. And some of the talent that's come out with that, it's got its own website, it's got a past, it's got a history. You can see who the judges are, you can check out their profiles, check out their reputation, see how it's scored. It's all very transparent. And you've also got awards organisations. Now, awards is, yes, there's a competing element, but then the accolade that you get at the end is something that you can then market, and quite more often than not, the benefits are quite different. So Scratch's awards, Scratch Magazine's awards, are the Scratch Stars Awards, and we are now approaching our 11th year. So we've been doing it for 11 years, and it just goes to show that we've pretty much sold out of our sponsorships, because there are brands out there. We've got OPI, we've got Gelish, we've got about 15 sponsors, all visible via our website. These brands are sponsoring our awards because they trust our reputation, they trust what we are delivering, they trust that our competition process is fair, and we are finding and rewarding amazing talent in the UK and Ireland in our nail sector. So our awards are currently open for entry until the 28th of February, and we have 18 categories. We've got technical categories, artistic categories, salon categories, education categories, all on the Scratch Magazine website. Just to name drop a couple, we've got L&P Tech of the Year, Polish and Paint Artist of the Year, Nail Salon of the Year, Nail and Beauty Salon of the Year, Home Nail Salon of the Year, Educator of the Year, and the Nail Business Mentor Award, which I guess is for people like you, Layla, who
actually,
offer advice.
Yeah, I'm going to say, when that new award came out, I took a WhatsApp from Scott. I took a WhatsApp saying, Layla, we've got a new award this year, and I really think you've got to go for it. And I was like, oh, bless him. So yeah, that's how I know about the Mentor Award. Yeah,
exactly. It's to recognise. I mean, we try and introduce a new category every year, just as the landscape changes in the world of nails, because we want to award all those different facets of the industry, and try and recognise as much talent as possible as we can in this industry. And so we've got 18 categories open for entry, and people can just go on our website, scratchmagazine.co.uk/scratchstars, or there's loads of links to it on the homepage. Check out the categories. It's got all of the information about the awards. All you need to do in the first stage is submit an entry form. All of the rules and regulations are on there, and you go for a preliminary judging, and we narrow it down to 5 finalists in each category based on their initial entry forms and what's been uploaded. It's that vetting process that we talked about earlier, who's right for this category, and they go through to a second stage of judging. Now, the individual nail professionals will be invited to London to compete and create a nail style within an hour that we'll brief them about. Salon finalists will be mystery shopped, so will mobile nail techs, they'll be mystery shopped. And so they go through this secondary process, and then once that's done, they just sit back and wait until the 23rd of July, where we're having our infamous Scratch Stars party in central London, location soon to be announced, which is always a really fun night. Lots of booze, some canapes, and we announce the winners of these Scratch Stars awards. Now, with that experience, it not only allows you to reflect and look back at your business by filling in that entry form. We're asking questions that we think are worthy of a Scratch Star winner. We're asking questions about how you tackle certain situations like complaints in the salon. You know, what's the biggest challenge you've overcome? We're not just looking at your nail work. We're looking at how you are as a business person, as a professional, as an everyday nail stylist or salon owner who is running a business. And if you're doing stuff really well, then you deserve to be awarded for it and you deserve to be recognised. So those initial entry forms are designed to just make you reflect a little bit. And if you don't get through to the finals this year, you probably would have learned a lot from filling in the entry form, be like, oh, this is what this awards organisation deems as a great nail pro or a great salon owner that it's looking for. There are a few areas that I could improve on, actually. And actually, there are a few areas that I feel like I'm doing really well. Fantastic, great, can go away, enter again next year. Or if we get through to the finals, just practicing for that nail competition or making sure that, right, I'm ready for the mystery shopper. Are my staff briefed? Are they clear? Are they welcoming? Do the customer journey. It kind of just gives you that little bit of a kick up the bottom to make sure that your business and you as a nail pro are performing at your best. And being in the finals, promote the heck out of it. You could say that you're in a national awards finals for your business, for you as a nail pro in one of 18 categories. You are 5 finalists. We had over 2,000 entrants last year, which is huge. And just like, I've beat all these people to this category. I'm a finalist now. The promotional opportunities, like we went back to earlier, it's just like, just shout about it. Just like if your name's in a magazine, if your name's on a finalist list for an award, shout about it. Just be like, I'm the top 5 in the country. Yes, I can put my prices up, or yes, you want to come to me over the person down the road who's, you know, yes, they're a £5 cheaper, but I'm a national finalist, so you know you want to come to me. So that's
what I just said there with what we've said throughout the whole thing, and I keep saying the magic word, which is leverage. And I leverage a lot. My team call me Leverage Layla. It's the thing. Has a nice little ring to it. But again, I mean, I've won awards. I've won Best Product of the Year. I've won Best Education of the Year years ago. We're still talking about it now. Yeah, we are leveraging because, okay, you might not have won it last year or the year before, but we won them. So we just ride that way from a marketing perspective. So it helps, again, authority, trust, established position. It's a no-brainer. Even if you don't win, like you said, the taking part of it as well.
Yeah, it just makes you sit back and evaluate. And that's the purpose of these competitions. If you haven't got that opportunity, then it's not worth doing. Awards are designed to raise standards in the industry as well as recognise excellence. And everyone wants to aspire to be a winner. And, you know, look at past winners, what they've done, you know, why they've won. Like, look at the interviews we've done with them on our website and in the magazine. What made them stand out? What made them a worthy award winner? So, yeah, everyone take a look at that on our website. That is for nail professionals and salon owners and business mentors and educators in the UK and Ireland. So, you know, we're not looking for the most perfect skill in the entire world. That's what Nail Olympia, the FMP competitions are all about. They're just looking at nail skill. We're looking at all-round skill. So you might not be, you know, the most perfect at LMP in the world, but you're giving your client an experience that makes them happy. You're doing brilliant LMP nails, maybe not quite perfect. You've got areas that you might always want to work on, but you're happy, you're dealing with situations well, you're running a successful business, and you deserve to be recognised for that. So, and we've had so many of our winners gone on to be recognised by big brands and become brand ambassadors. spokespersons for brands, and they've been in their local press because we provide press releases for them, photos literally the day after the event's done, so they can then go to their local press. We provide all the graphics if they want to get window stickers done and promote. I'm an award-winning salon. You know, there's one called Gorgeous Nail and Beauty Emporium in Bexley, and I drive past it, and they won an award with us. They entered 3 or 4 times before they won, but every time they learned and they took the feedback, they grew and they learned, and then they went on to win. And all I see in their windows, a load of gold stars and Scratch Stars award-winning salon. Oh. And it's so nice to see that. That's the shop window. You're selling yourself. You're putting that out there. You're plastering your success everywhere. And it's so important to enter things like that. So that's for the UK and Ireland. And we are so excited this year to have launched an online competition. Always trying to run with the needs of the industry. But this is open to global nail professionals, nail artists in particular. So our new competition is the World's Star Nail Artist. And it's already been pretty huge, to be honest. So what we are looking for is basically upcoming talent in the world of nail artistry. And this is open to nail artists all over the globe. So as long as you received a recognised nail qualification 12 months ago or prior to that, then you can enter. All of the other rules and regulations are on our website as well. Just search for World Star Nail Artist. And this is a really cool one because it means that over the next couple of months, sponsors will be setting challenges for our finalists. So we're getting the entries in at the moment. Again, entry closes on the 28th of February. These will then be narrowed down, not sure to how many yet, could be 16, it could be 20, and they'll go through a preliminary challenge. So they'll be set a task. After that task, we'll probably get a final 10 or 12. And then over the course of 10 weeks, every fortnight, they'll be set a really fun, creative nail art challenge. And it will have a really cool out there brief. It might be something for a fashion show. It might be something quite specific. It's something they've got a week to then work on, and then there'll be a voting element online. People can vote for what they like, but it'll also be judged. So you can really get involved. Our tagline is that we want to unite the global nail industry, and we can do that by bringing everyone together, getting them to vote for this new and upcoming talent, and showcasing their work across our platforms. Now, that will carry on until April, these challenges that people can do at home, and then we'll get a final 3. These final 3 will then be flown to London for the Scratch Stars party on the 23rd of July, where they will take part in one final challenge, and we will announce the 3rd place, 2nd place and 1st place winner, and there will be cash prizes.
Wow, how exciting.
Yeah, so we want to see some entries from all over the world. We've had some really cool ones so far, but it's just something, if you love nail art and you like that challenge, and then please do enter WSNA, as we're calling it, the World Star Nail Artist Competition. So very exciting on that front.
Yeah, I've seen obviously some noise online about it, and even my own educators, they've taken screenshots of your Instagram and they WhatsApped it to me. And so they're nail techs, obviously they're educators, but they're nail techs, so they're like bing with stars in their eyes. And I love it. I love the fact that, so the prequel is minimum 12 months, but no level of.
There are stipulations, like if you've been working for a brand house for 2 years or more, then unfortunately we say no to that, because a lot of our weeks will be sponsored by brands. We want to make sure that it's completely impartial. And so, all of the rules and regulations and who can and can't enter are on our website. And I'll also be doing a video for social media in the next couple of days, so that if anyone's got any questions, they can watch that, or they can just email us and find out some more.
Very excited. And I'm not going to lie, because I did open the message from Scott and I just went, oh, you know, it's one of those, I think I just sent an emoji like, oh, whatever, oh, you. But I might have a little nosy at that, because I haven't entered awards in years. I'm the one always trying to encourage other people to enter the awards. And I don't know if it's because I've been there, done that, blah, 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 and I've got a lot going on. But yeah, maybe I have a little look, because again, it goes back to evolving with the landscape that we're in now. Business mentoring wasn't around before. Having conversations about mindset as a salon owner wasn't around before. Talking boundaries, talking pricing structure, talking saying no to clients. Those conversations, people were suffering in silence. Whereas now I'm only going really on my own ecosystem as I create the space to say, you go out there and you say no to that person right now, and we build them the confidence to do that and to be more about the profit and less about the glitter. I've got another course which is called Profit Before Passion, which is, it's all well and good being passionate, and again I'm going to really think about the nail techs when I think of this, to the point that they don't even know if they're making money, and it's like, passion doesn't pay the bills, but you can have both. And so I love the way that we as mentors, whatever you want to call us nowadays, that we are now being acknowledged, and you have created that space as well. You acknowledge that it is a fundamental part of, it's necessary now.
Absolutely. And so for example, last year we introduced the Home Nail Salon of the Year category because we saw such an increase in home salons, and it's so important for every area of our industry, and everyone that's supporting the industry, raising standards in the industry and making it to what it is, an amazing industry in which to work. It's so important that they're recognized, and our industry is put on the map with that. And it's phenomenal, some of the opportunities that people have had from winning Scratch Stars awards. They have put up their prices, they've got their gold trophy on their nail desk, and their clients can say, oh, I go to an award-winning nail tech. And with the new contest, World Star Nail Artist, our platinum sponsor, who's C&D, we are open to more sponsorships, but they ran a similar competition from the past couple of years, and the winners from that have gone on to head up shows at London Fashion Week and New York Fashion Week, and they've gone on to be globally renowned brand ambassadors, or they've had so many amazing opportunities through their win and through gaining that title, and that's what we're hoping to achieve with this, and we know will be achieved with this. So
I love it. It's so amazing.
It's amazing. All people need to do is just put themselves forward and enter. It's an entry form. No one needs to know that you've done it. So if you're a bit scared about doing it, you're behind a computer screen and you're filling in an entry form. What's the harm in doing it? If you just don't know unless you give it a go.
Yeah, I love that. And before we go, because I feel like we're going to come to a close in a sec, we haven't even talked about the party itself yet. So we get over the awards, because I come every year, so we get over the awards, which is amazing. I mean, I've been reduced to tears at some of your awards, and I love seeing Kirsty Meakin. I've just got to give her a little moment when she gets up on that stage, looking the way she looks, with her big personality and her big dress, and a big hair and a big nails and a big mouth and everything. It's all going on at once.
Quite a statement.
I just love her. But I mean, I love a lot of them, but there's stories that get shared again. And it's that whole, and it probably goes right back to that nail tech that thought it could never have been her, and then she's up there on the stage and they're crying, and it makes you cry, and it's like, what the hell is going on?
There's one I just want to highlight, actually. I did a podcast last year just before entry opens with Clogasmic, and I similar kind of, I was explaining what the awards were about, and that we'd introduced this new category, Home Nail Salon of the Year. And Danny Manchip, who is Bo's Beauty Box on Instagram, was listening to that podcast. He entered and he went on to win. And we've just done a big interview with him in I believe it's in the February issue. So I work on several issues at a time, so I can never count down the days, but I believe it's in the February issue, where he said, the benefits that win has brought him, and how it's given him so much confidence that what he was doing is right. And he still says, there's some few areas that I can continue to work on. But he's got his trophy on his desk. He's got his first published article in Scratch magazine. He did a reader's gallery with us, framed above his nail desk. He's constantly putting himself out there, but he wasn't going to enter until we heard that podcast, but he did. And then he went on to win his first ever competition. And it just goes to show it can be you, it can happen. And please give it a go, because why not?
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for your time, Helena. I'm going to go and fill out the form now. But honestly, I think we've made it pretty clear now, whether it's the printed articles, whether it's the online articles, basically any form of marketing, and basically just take action and just get yourself out there. And stop being in your own way, you know, and just do it, and look at all the amazing things that can happen, and it is happening, you know. So
opportunities are there, you just need to take them, and you know that, why wouldn't you? So all of these things are at your disposal, and there for you to use, and just shout about how amazing you all are, and just make stuff happen for you.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. You take care, Helen. I'll speak to you soon. I hope everyone really found that really valuable and really inspiring. Okay, take care. Bye.